make of this decision? What did you think? What do you make of some of the criticism concerning partisan politics as part of the decision-making process when we put these people in place strictly to interpret what is constitutional and what is not, according to their own beliefs, and of course human nature would dictate their biases? How do you react to this decision?
Well, you know, I practice primarily in New Jersey State Court. I'm a matrimonial attorney. I handle a few other practice areas. I've yet to meet the judge that I could intimidate. I could probably charge a lot more per hour if I was that effective. Then my arguments cowed the judges and caused them to hide under the benches. John Roberts is a big boy. And, you know, I have to disagree a little bit, only insofar as I don't think he was intimidated at all. I just think he did what a lot of men in prominent positions with equally big egos do, which is think of their legacy. If you read the decision, and I know it's almost as bad as trying to go through the ObamaCare bill. Not quite, because it's significantly shorter. But all of his legal conclusions are complete dead ends. I mean, for example, one of the things that we know about a direct tax under the Constitution, under the taxing power, is it has to be equally apportioned among the states. The founders did that for a reason, because they knew that the government needed to raise revenue. We weren't able to do that effectively under the Articles of Confederation. But they also knew that that was extremely dangerous, because just like we were talking about, that allows government to control human behavior. So they made a very complex formula. John Roberts unbelievably made my head explode and many other people's heads explode by saying, well, that clearly can't apply in this context because then it would defeat the purpose of the legislation. Because obviously certain states have more people that need to be insured than others. Well, with all due respect, Chief Justice, it's your job to decide whether or not this bill is constitutional, not whether the Constitution allows for the bill. You're working backwards. He's not a dumb man. I don't think he was an intimidated man. I think he was thinking like a politician. He wanted to have a more comfortable experience every time he went to the D.C. cocktail parties. And with all due respect, John Roberts, that's not why we elected people to put you on the bench. That's not your job. You stepped outside of the bounds of your job. And now, until we elect the right people to correct his mistake, we're right back in the position we were before 1776, when on an equally hot, and humid, and miserable day, a bunch of very brave men in powdered wigs, can you imagine wearing something like that outside on a day like today? They gathered in that building and they said, you know what, the system of government they have in Britain, where government has plenary power over our lives, nah, we're going to create a system of limited government. John Roberts has now effectively, in one stroke of the pen, eliminated that. They can force us to join the gym or pay a tax. We were so worried about religious liberty a few months ago. Now they can force us to buy contraceptives or pay a tax. There's nothing government can't do now. So, you know, there's plenty of intelligent people on our side of the movement that have taken a position, like we talked about, that this isn't that bad, it isn't as bad as it seems. I don't think that's going to bear out. I think every single one of us needs to devote every second of the next few months to making sure there's a Republican Senate in January.
All right. Thank you very much.